ancient wisdom, board games, old dudes in robes? Well, as far as secret societies go, the Order of the White Lotus seems like a pretty awesome one to be part of. No ritual hazing or cactus juice chugging required. This band of wise and powerful old folks needs to be further explored though. So as we take a closer look, I'll be talking about the Order's duties in the series, their history, and looking at some symbolism and some real-world organizations that could have influenced creating this secretive society. What's up, guys? I'm Kris Carr, and today I'm talking to you about the Order of the White Lotus from the world of Avatar. Instead of asking NerdWire fans to donate to our Patreon, I want to encourage you to make a donation to Black Lives Matter, or another Black organization. It would be a waste of this platform not to advocate for the Black community, and I hope you'll join us in giving what you can. Any support you can give will go a long way. No act of empathy is too small. Thanks in advance for your donations and your time. Stay safe out there. Okay, on to the Order. When we're first introduced to the Order of the White Lotus, it's an ancient, sometimes secret society that unites people from the four nations who wish to seek knowledge, beauty, and truth. This group shares ancient philosophy and wisdom regardless of national or political divides, and is tasked with finding and protecting the next bender in the Avatar cycle. The Order originated as a sort of club where masters of various arts could challenge each other in Pai Sho, a strategy game said to be invented by the spirits themselves that seems to share a likeness with Go and Chinese checkers. The Order took their name, White Lotus, from a tile used in the game. According to the commentary on the episode The Stakeout, the show's creators made up Pai Sho without laying out the rules of the game. These would be established in an online game produced by Nickelodeon for fans to play. Membership to the Order was communicated through the game itself by placing Pai Sho tiles on the board in a specific manner, forming a bloomed lotus bud with the lotus chip at its center. Prospective recruits were generally invited by older White Lotus members via Pai Sho. We know that the Order was active during the time of Avatar Kuruk, and failed to identify his successor, Kyoshi, which led to her formative years being extremely difficult. The Order made sure to correctly identify the air nomad who would take on the mantle next. After Avatar Aang went into the ice, the Order moved into the shadows, maintaining a low profile as the 100-Year War raged on. While we now know that members were working together to aid young Aang, it wasn't until the Order banded together with Team Avatar to liberate the city of Ba Sing Se that they publicly identified themselves. At this time, the organization consisted of members such as Iroh, who served as Grand Lotus, the firebender Zhang Zhang, the waterbending master Pakku, King Bumi of Umashu, and Pian Dao, a sword master. All of these individuals were masters in their respective arts. I love how all these masters are kind of b-holes when we first meet them in the story. I mean, Iroh appears to be aligned with Zuko and the Fire Nation and going after the Avatar. Bumi imprisons Katara and Sokka and threatens to murder them by encasing them in a gem. Pakku is sexist. Zhang Zhang is rude AF. Pian Dao's pretty chill. Alright, but let's talk about how he's throwing up White Lotuses all over his house. It's on the walls. It's on the training ground. It's a door knocker. It's on swords. Real subtle, bro. Do you not know that this is a secret society? Are you like not aware? As the 100-Year War came to an end, Order member Zhai Bao deserted the society, believing that the Order had lost its true purpose by revealing itself to serve the Avatar. Zhai Bao would go on to create the Red Lotus Society, the militant counter to the White Lotus. By the time we reach Legend of Korra, Avatar Aang had once again tasked the Order with finding, training, and protecting the Avatar that was to come after him. The Order consisted not only of masters who would work with Korra, like Katara, but also guards who were there to protect her from threats, such as the Red Lotus, Equalists, yada yada yada. Many Avatar fans have been quick to point out that the acronym for the Order of the White Lotus is OWL. Owls are often associated with wisdom, and are certainly tied to intellect in the world of Avatar. What with the owl spirit Wan Shi Tong residing over the spirit library. Now me? I personally place more weight on the Order's namesake, the White Lotus flower. Let's examine some of the potential symbolism there. The lotus flower has a unique life cycle. With its roots based in mud, it exists in murky water. It submerges each night into a dirty environment, and it reblooms each morning. Many cultures have their own interpretation of this cycle, but the general consensus is that lotuses symbolize enlightenment and rebirth. The lotus flower blooming in algae-riddled ponds unscathed symbolizes beauty blooming in adversity, or, in this case, how hope can arise in the murkiest, most somber of places. In Hinduism, the white lotus flower symbolizes beauty and non-attachment. This could apply to the idea of non-attachment towards one's government and/or region, and could certainly explain why a real-life society took this flower as its namesake. Now, the real White Lotus Society originated as a religious offshoot of Buddhism that emphasized a strict vegetarian lifestyle and permitted men and women to interact freely, something considered pretty shocking at the time. The society was banned when Manchu tribes conquered China and proclaimed themselves as the Qing dynasty. The White Lotus then dedicated itself to overthrowing this dynasty and returning power to the previous Ming dynasty. The Chinese people were dealing with famine, crowded living conditions, government interference, and harassment. So, the White Lotus began a rebellion and promised their followers that the Buddha would return to end all of China's suffering. While the White Lotus Society remained relatively unorganized, they did contribute to the protest and widespread dissent felt in China. While the name seems to have been taken directly from this religious society, the Order of the White Lotus from Avatar seems to more closely mimic another society, the Freemasons, who also had members from all corners of the world with differing cultures and views. According to the Masons of California, Freemasonry is the world's first and largest fraternal organization, bringing like-minded men together to make the world a better place through philanthropy. The principles of this fraternity are brotherly love, relief, and truth. This order is said to value tolerance, integrity, and the continuous pursuit of knowledge. The order claims that, quote, by appreciating our differences, we learn to focus on what unites mankind. Thus, the discussion of religion, politics, and business is not permitted in our lodges. In this way, we live up to the centuries-old aim for our fraternity, to unite men of every country, sect, and opinion, and cause true friendship among those who otherwise would have remained at a distance. While the literal rebellion and specific Asian cultural influences from the real-life White Lotus tie into Avatar, I would argue that the principles of Masonry, particularly the obligation to share knowledge across all cultures, are much more in line with the ideology of the Order of the White Lotus. I'd also add that the order beginning as a fraternity, then moving to a more progressive, more inclusive order, is a nice combination of these two societies. Especially when you consider Paku's views on women when we first met him. Even someone part of a society dedicated to sharing knowledge had to address his own shortcomings and prejudices. We see this when we look at philosophers all the time. Aristotle was a really progressive guy who also believed in slavery. Being a knowledge seeker doesn't make you infallible. It just means that sometimes you're presented more data that you have to address. You have to look at how your society and your culture could have strong prejudices. It's okay to change your mind. It's great to change your mind. And Paku, as well as the Order, are great examples of growing and changing for the better. I think we revisit this series so often because we can always learn something from a rewatch. There's always something new to glean from it. And I'm so excited that new people are getting introduced to this show because there are so many important lessons in Avatar. And I believe the Order of the White Lotus illuminates a very important one. The needs of many outweigh the needs of a few. And tyranny anywhere is a threat to all. Many of the members of this order would have benefited from the Fire Nation's dominance. But they saw the profoundly negative impact this would pose to so many people and disagreed vehemently with their practices because they came at the expense of others. Despite coming from all different walks of life, they banded together for the good of the world. That's a society I think we can all get on board with. And I'm pretty happy it's not so secret anymore. Now, these are just the things I think about when I think of the Order of the White Lotus. But I want to hear from you guys. Were there any factoids I left out? Do you have a favorite member? Do you like these historical hot takes I'm doing? Hit me with your thoughts in the comments below. As always, you guys, you're in charge here. Let me know what Avatar content you want to see. Let us know what characters, which different organizations, anything you want us to cover in Avatar. It's up to you. Thank you so much to all you awesome Avatar fans. And remember, let's welcome the new fans here with open arms. There's enough Avatar goodness for us all. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and hit that bell so we can keep the conversation going. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. See you, Space Cowboy.